So I'm actually making this Spanakopita, which is basically feta and spinach pie. It's a great recipe. So basically, I've been wanting to make this for quite a while, but haven't had the time. And now I'm actually kind of free because the school term is coming to the end, with the exception of the exams and grading and stuff. So okay, these are the kind of things that I think the ingredients that you have to actually prepare. So let me just introduce a little bit of the ingredients. The key ingredient is actually spinach. So this spinach has to be finely chopped so that you can actually bind and fold together with the ingredients, the other ingredients. So this actually is I fried this with olive oil and also added salt and pepper. So black pepper mainly, and as you can see, you have to actually keep it relatively dry. So do strain this after you have fried it, because when there's too much water, this will actually break the skin. Okay, and then you have the 2 beaten eggs. You can add one more if you want to. Feta cheese, okay, which is about 150. This is about 150 grams, but we recommended more. But I don't think all my family actually likes it. So there's also Greek salad. This is Greek style salad, not salad, yogurt. Unfortunately, we have this butter for actually coating and brushing over the sheets, the fire dough sheets. Yeah, and then you have olive oil, which is another alternative if you do want to use butter. You have the minced leaves, and this you don't have to add a lot because it actually is pretty strong, and mint leaves are actually meant to add some texture and flavor to the spinach. This is actually optional. This product itself is actually Cretan honey. Basically, it's made in Crete, somewhere in I think it's Heraclea, basically. So it adds a bit of sweetness to the mix. And you're not supposed to add too much, because if you add too much, it actually takes away from the flavor. So these are the ingredients, and okay, my nieces are behind, but actually, come back this one. Okay, I was recommended to actually put this breadcrumbs, okay, on the bottom of the pan, and then to pour some olive oil, because it prevents the phyllo pastry from sticking to the mix. Okay, and it actually adds a bit of texture too. So for this, actually, I think that any kind of breadcrumbs is actually possible. So basically, you can use panko breadcrumbs, like the Japanese ones that I had at home, which my mom normally uses to make this. She actually uses this, but you can use any other breadcrumbs, obviously, because this is not a necessary thing. Some people just brush the bottom with olive oil, but I think it's a bit too greasy. And but according to this other content creator, Dimitra, she recommended using breadcrumbs, and she's a Greek herself, so it actually helps. And so let's go into these different steps. Okay, the spinach has been fried, so I think the next thing you need to do is just to add the mint. Okay, this is I think it's a bit too much, but anyway, let's just see. You probably don't need so much actually. So you just add this and fold into the ingredients, and because as you can tell, I'm having a bit of a bronchitis, a cough. I'm actually speaking through the mask, so I tend to be a bit muffled in the way I speak. Okay, so mix this together, and then okay, you are supposed to actually, I think they recommended adding this 2 eggs. Obviously, you have to beat them together, and okay, and also the as for this, we have the Greek yogurt. Okay, now which I am actually opening. Okay, so this, okay, the Greek yogurt just added in as well, and actually you can tell it actually adds a lot of texture. Okay, and okay, my niece is now holding camera. So okay, this is the feta cheese. Okay, I don't really know how much. I'm just adding by feel because they recommended 200 grams, but it's too much. So this is the, oh my goodness, it's dripping. So thankfully I have a bowl instead. So just add the feta cheese. You have to crumble it so that you can actually blend it with the rest. Okay, so yeah, just like the whole block. And do you want that the whole block?
No.
No. They recommend the whole block though. Okay, so I added about 3/4. I think I'll see how it goes. Okay, so you're supposed to actually mix this, all this, okay, and crumble the cheese, so that it can blend in well. And okay, so it's not finished yet. Actually, we still have to. There's quite a bit of steps to do. Okay, we have this. So in the online recipe, I saw they even use milk powder or flour, but I don't think it actually adds a lot of taste, because it tends to be too like milk based and lactose based, and it's not really good for those who are lactose intolerant. So okay, we still have a bit. I think we can add the cheese. Yeah, let's add the cheese. So okay, and so okay, so it's not finished yet. We still have to add the black pepper and salt for taste. Okay, so just let me do this. We are almost halfway through. Okay, we have black pepper. Okay, my hands are cheap. Okay, black pepper. Okay, and then let's have honey actually. Okay, so we have salt. Okay, I don't really use an awful lot because I don't make it so salty, so let's just use a pinch of salt. Okay, so pinch of salt. Okay, and then last ingredient, some honey. Okay, you're not supposed to add too much, because if you add too much, it's going to be too sweet, and it will taste a bit like those, party pies. But this is Spanakopita, so it's supposed to be just subtly sweet. Okay, so you have this mix. Okay, so the next thing to do is to just mix the whole thing, okay, until it's all evenly blended. Okay, including the cheese. And okay, so okay, let me just talk a little bit more about the steps. Okay, I was recommended to actually layer the bottom. Obviously, you have to layer the bottom with phyllo pastry. So then my niece is still holding camera. So anyway, let me focus on this. Okay, so you're supposed to layer the phyllo pastry, about 2-3 layers on the breadcrumbs. Yeah, the breadcrumbs. Okay, so focus on that.
在这么干做什么？
你要拍视频，这样还好，不要跌倒啊。
Sorry. Anyway, there's yeah, the pastry dough seems to have been kind of sticking together, so it might be a bit hard to just take them all one by one, but I'll try my best, and hopefully it doesn't tear up. Oh, it's tearing up. Oh dear. So okay, I know that in some cases they actually recommended, that spring roll skin that they use in Chinese cooking, but it's actually kind of it's actually thicker, and it doesn't really bake so well compared to phyllo pastry. So okay, so you have this. Okay, these are the first 3 layers. Okay, and of course the next thing to do is to actually brush. You can either use some olive oil, okay, or I think let's try the butter. The butter is actually what actually helps to give some taste other than binding the stuff. Okay, so butter. So so you have butter. That's a lot actually. So generally the butter should be melted. So still kind of tough. Oh dear. So I actually recommend melting all this before you make this video, just like me. Because I'm kind of like, oh dear, this is a bit too tough. So but anyway, now let's try the olive oil instead. So, yeah. Okay, so the olive oil. Okay, all this here. So olive oil. Okay. It's too much. Yeah. Okay, this is the first layer. Okay, so butter's not melted. Okay, sorry, I'm back here. I just switched it for a while. Okay, you can tell that this is actually kind of like watery as a mixture, but I think it'll be fun when you do the baking. So what you have to do is some more layers, some more with the spinach mixture. Okay, so you're supposed to actually layer this way. Okay, and keep it flat and even. So okay, you're not supposed to fill up the whole pan yet. Okay, so just use it for this layer, for this first layer. Okay. Okay, so I think it's a bit wet. Actually, I should have strained the spinach, but I think it was really strained, but I think I should have squeezed out even more fluids. So, okay, from here, okay, let's do some over here. Too much. Yeah, the butter is not melted, but let's try this. Okay, so another step that was recommended, okay, by Dimitra. According to her, she said that you're supposed to actually layer one by one on top of this. So this is very, it's kind of sticky because it's very thin. So you have to be careful with the phyllo pastry. I mean, when you bake it, ultimately it doesn't really matter. But okay, so you can tell. Okay, my niece is actually okay. So yeah, I can tell that it's kind of like coming apart, but so be slow and gentle. Okay. Unfortunately, I think part of it is kind of tearing apart. So we just have to make do with what we have. So okay. So oh dear, you can still get relatively good phyllo pastry, even with yeah. So okay, according to what Dimitra, she said you're supposed to layer part of it down here. Okay, so here, okay, and then the another sheet. Okay, down here. So you have to fold it in half again. Okay, fold it in half if you can. So yeah, just be gentle and slow. Okay, and oh no, this is tearing. So I guess that's the reason why we have to fold it. Okay, so in half. Okay, from there you can place it on the other end, the other side. Okay, so on both sides. Okay, they recommend brushing with butter, but the butter is still kind of, it's very, yeah, so it's quite soft. So I think we'll just use olive oil instead. So brush your olive oil. Okay, some olive oil and okay, this is olive oil. Okay, so let's put some more of this mixture. Okay, the mixture actually ultimately when you bake it, it's actually going to be evenly cooked. I think because yeah, that's how Spanakopita is. So with a mixture of cheese and yogurt. Okay, so this is okay. Just to top it up and okay. Okay, so we're not finished yet. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay. We still have quite a bit left, so oh dear. So okay. So fold it in, okay. Okay, this is the pie. Fold it in. Actually, we can just add the remaining. You have to actually bake for quite a while because, as you can tell, there's a bit of mixture of that yogurt and it's kind of wet. So you want to actually strain that, strain the water and make sure it's evaporated. So from here, okay, from here, just make sure it's even out. So from here, okay. So that's the thing. Okay, we still have a few more sheets, so let's try this with the remaining sheets. So normally, what I do, okay, according to the recipe, okay, they're supposed to lay a few more sheets. So it's a bit slow. Oh dear. Yeah, it's tearing, so that's why I think they recommended folding. Okay, and it's not very thick, it's very thin. So in some cases they recommended the Chinese spring roll skin. Okay, so this is okay, but it's okay because ultimately the what matters is the top layer. So this is one layer. Sticking together. I might have to actually separate them. Okay, so from here, okay, some people just recommended laying on top, but you have that the side. So the side is actually where it really matters, but you ultimately come out. So you're supposed to do this. Okay, let's do some more brushing. Okay, for this top layer, with some olive oil. Actually, normally they use butter instead. No, I mean some recipes use butter, yeah. But I recommend olive oil better. So yeah, you can brush evenly with the olive oil. Okay, so same with this. This will cook the pastry sheets. Okay, the olive oil. So just a little bit. Okay. Oops. These phyllo dough sheets are sticking together. So I think we have to just make do with what we have. Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to actually. Let's lay it out on top. Okay, you can do this. Actually, some people do that on the side, but we have done this before for the thing, so just lay it on top. Okay. Okay. So from here, again. Okay. The main is that you want to look symmetrically, rectangular or squarish for that piece of phyllo dough, the whole pastry. So, if possible, fold it so that it looks even. Okay, and then some more olive oil. You don't have to add an awful lot, but just make sure that it's evenly spread over the pastry. Okay. Thank you to my niece for helping me. Okay, I think the last bit is butter, so we have to actually do that brushing with butter, but let me do this thing with olive oil first. Okay, so you see down here, The layers are here. Okay, it's been done. Okay. Okay, there are quite a lot of layers, as you can tell, for this phyllo dough. It's not probably the best idea to try to split everyone one by one because it's too thin and it's breaking. You can tell it's just breaking. So, but let me try just a few sheets at one go instead of one sheet at one time. So, anyway, when you bake it and then it becomes crispy, it's not going to be really. It doesn't really matter. Okay, so oh dear. So, okay, part of it. Okay, again. Okay, so this is the other sheet again. Actually, some people would probably just cut phyllo pastry. So, okay, this is one other sheet. Okay, let me just stop for the time being, and then so that I can actually go and melt the butter. Okay, so sorry, this is the last bit. Now I'm holding the camera by myself, so I have I do apologize that if it looks very shaky. Okay, as you can tell here, I just sort of like coated some butter, but I think that this ultimately will all melt. And then when you do the binding, when you do the baking, so I think the best thing is still to, if you're really concerned about the the phyllo pastry not being, oh dear, yeah, not being really evenly coated with this, use olive oil instead. Okay, I added a bit too much, but okay. So from here, okay, just coat it. Yeah, coat it. Just make sure you coat the layers evenly. So with the brush. The main key is the brush. Okay, so yeah, so just make sure that everything doesn't. You can just coat it. Yeah, because this is actually going to help in the cooking, in the baking. Okay, so oh dear. This is a layer. So, yeah, I just promised my niece that she'll get a big share of the pie. Okay, so it's not done yet. Okay, there is actually quite a few other sheets left. So what I'm going to do with these few other sheets is that I'm going to actually fold them in some patterns, put it on top. Okay, so and let me show the result later after. Okay, give me some time because I need to fold it with my two hands. Okay, this is the final outcome. It doesn't look so nice as it should. Normally some people will just do this layer, but I don't have enough. But folding it up, okay, and then those little ribbons, everything, putting on top, gives it a kind of look that is, it's relatively prettier. When you see the final outcome, it's very crispy. Yeah, there's texture, it's not even. So yeah, and okay, the final thing is just to add either olive oil or butter, melted butter. But I think that basically melted butter is actually not always a must. Okay, they always recommend olive oil because olive oil is a very very Greek thing. So there's a joke that I actually heard when I was online. So when they say use olive oil just a little, it's actually a lot in Greece. You see the picture with this Greek Yaya or this Greek uncle who's actually pouring one whole tub of olive oil. Okay, but actually, yeah, it's a really awful lot. So, okay, this is the whole thing. You have to coat the whole thing. Just make sure that the whole thing cooks because you don't want anything to burn. Okay, and the one thing is that when the heat is too high, you can end up burning it. So that's why you need a lot of olive oil. And okay, I think that in some versions they actually use was it the baklava, which is another form of pie with pistachio nuts or walnuts. They actually they use nuts and everything on top of it as well. They sprinkle nuts, but for me, I think that I don't have a nut allergy, but for those who are actually allergic to nuts, it's not recommended. So yeah, just be careful. Okay, so this is the thing. It's ready more or less. So if you want, what they do is to actually they recommend coating a layer of beaten egg. I think that this is actually a good thing. Okay, so let me try that with the beaten egg as well. Or actually maybe not because my mother is cooking. But it's optional. You can actually add butter as well, or melted butter to cook, but it's again optional. Okay, so let me just put this in the oven. Okay, and then we'll see what happens next after 1 hour. Okay, what was recommended was that you have to actually bake at a medium heat. I think it's actually around 220, I think 220, not 220, about 200 degrees Celsius. Yeah, 180 to 200 degrees Celsius. And then for 45 minutes in the middle row, okay, of the oven. Okay, it depends on the oven. Mine is a really small one, so you can't really do much for that. So you have to bake for around there at the 45 minutes all over. And then after that, after the 45 minutes, you're supposed to actually bake it for an extra 15 minutes only from the bottom layer. This is to prevent the bottom sheets from actually breaking or sticking or getting, or it actually helps because with that particular layer of breadcrumbs, it actually makes it easier to actually cut it, okay, later on. So there's another step. The other step is to actually, for those who want to do it, you're recommended to score it. Okay, so let me do the scoring now. Okay, so this is what it looks like when it's cut. Okay, so you don't need to actually go down all the way if you want, but you want to, you can do that. Okay, so from here, let me just put it inside the oven. Okay, the oven has to be preheated, so let me just put to 180. Because the hotter it is, the more likely it can get burned easily. So I'll just use 180 first. You can adjust the heat later if you want to actually do it on a higher temperature. So from here, let's do this preheating. It's 45 minutes, so let's do it for maybe okay, so this is 5 minutes, so let me just place this in the oven. Okay, so let me clear the table first. Okay, there's no stuff. So okay, so this is actually the middle row, so just place it here. Okay, and then I'll come back after 45 minutes or so just to make sure that everything's okay. So this is what it looks like here. Okay, for time being, let's just come back later. Okay.